Hi, I'm Alan Berkson. I am the Global Director of Community Outreach and Analyst Relations for Freshworks. I'm joined today by our CIO, Prasad Ramakrishnan, and we're going to be talking about how can IT teams enable remote working for employees during emergency situations. Hey, Prasad, we have an emergency situation right now, I think. What do you think?
Yes, I do. And hi, everyone. And hi, Alan. It's always wonderful to chat with you.
So with employees mandated to work from home, what are the steps IT teams need to take to enable a remote working environment?
Yeah, so I think the minimum set of things that we need to think about from an employee perspective to enable remote working from home is one, I would say, a computing device. Could be a desktop or a laptop, and preferably a laptop because desktops are harder to transport. Reliable internet connectivity. Making sure that we have noise cancellation, and I want to stress on noise cancellation because when you're in a BCP mode, the one thing where the reality of the situation is you are going to be in a lot of calls, business calls, where there is going to be ambient noise coming from your house, be it the noise coming from your kitchen or the noise coming from other people in the family or the TV blaring in the background. So enabling some kind of noise cancellation so that you can filter out all the unnecessary noise as you're in business conversations with your colleagues or your customers or your partners. Identifying and making sure that we have reliable internet connectivity, right? I spoke about internet connectivity, but there are countries where internet connectivity could not be, may not be reliable. So identifying a secondary internet device, right? Could be a MiFi dongle, which enables you to get the backup internet. I would say VPN, because there are when you're dealing with customer data and sensitive data, you do need to make sure that you have a secure tunnel to get into your corporate networks. So enabling VPN and making sure that you have the capacity in the VPN. Most companies would have VPN, but they would have had the capacity planned for, say, 5% or 10% of the employees logging into the VPN network. So making sure that from a company perspective, investing in the additional capacity from a VPN perspective, from a VPN infrastructure would be critical. And have a backup for your for your VPN, right? Where if VPN is getting overtaxed from a consumer perspective, ensure you have a backup, and things like virtual desktop interface, where you actually could be using a machine that's not really powerful, but you are coming into a server which is powerful, and then it's creating a virtual desktop for you. And that's one place where you can simulate the fact that you simulate the environment similar to a VPN.
So I've been working home a long time, and I can tell you the challenges from the employee side. But from an IT side, what are some of the common challenges in enabling employees to work from home? How does IT ensure security, as you were talking about, with employees working from home?
Yeah, so I think there are a few aspects which I covered as part of the previous list itself, right? One is from a security of the environment perspective. We need to ensure that the connection that the employee makes to the various corporate services that are being offered, one, they are secure, right? So investing in technology and business services which are SaaS based, which allows for a secure connection to the various business services. Let's take an example here. Employees will still want to access their payroll information. And in many cases, the payroll information is available from your HRMS system, right? If we, when we do the investment, the upfront planning and execution of bringing up your HRMS system, we need to ensure that the provider that we are working with does have the required security settings within their environment to make sure that employees that are accessing it do have the right security setting. Now, HRMS may have been a bad example because you will not be investing in an HRMS system unless you have the required security settings. But I wanted to say that just to make a point, right? Secondary, if you're a product company, there is going to be a lot of engineering work that goes on, right? Where you need the ability for employees to log in remotely to your Git environment, whatever your Git product is, right? It could be GitHub, GitLab, or it could be Bitbucket, or any of those environments. You want to make sure that employees have a secure way by which they can log in to your corporate network and continue the work of development that they need to do, right? The reason I'm bringing that up is During times of crises, what happens is the bad actors, they know that companies may make a compromise. They may try to compromise their security settings just to ensure that the business continuity can go on, right? Which means you're opening up the window for bad actors to actually take advantage of some of these vulnerabilities. And if you read the press, there is a significant increase in the number of malware attacks, significant increase in the number of phishing attacks, and a significant increase in the number of ransomware attacks that are going on. And people are faking as though it's a message coming from the Center for Disease Control or the World Health Organization to make people click on something and install a malware, right? So educating employees and making sure that employees are aware of all of these vulnerabilities is also an extremely critical aspect of from a technology perspective.
As with most things, it's not always about technology, it's about people as well and processes. You have to do the training. So for IT teams, how do you deal with, with employees who are using personal devices for remote work? Because could be an easier and obvious thing for them to want to do. Because maybe I have my laptop, but I also have my home computer, for example.
Yeah, and I'm glad you asked this question, Alan, because this is not a hypothetical situation, right? Think about it from the effects of the disaster that we are in. We still are onboarding employees, right? A lot of companies are still onboarding employees. And in some cases, they are able to ship the company issued laptop to the employees. But in many cases, we are not able to, just because of geographical shipping logistics issues, we are not able to ship laptops to employees, but we still want the business to go on, right? So one of the approaches that that could be taken here is to set up the virtual desktop interface where employees can use their Google Chromebook or their personal home computer and log in to a virtual desktop setting that the company provides, where all of the security parameters could be applied. Very strict security parameters could be applied to the virtual desktop. And what this does is, to the employee, it looks like they're actually using a company machine, whereas they're actually using their machine, but they are in a simulated session from a corporate network perspective, right? Where we have got all the bells and whistles in terms of security, all the access that the employee needs. So it helps in two ways. One is the employee is completely productive. All the things that they need to do their job is available in the VDI environment. And two, the security concerns will go away because now it's all in a controlled environment.
Right. Now, my ITSM background makes me cringe in terms of thinking about the volumes of different and often unique requests coming from employees working from home. How do you handle that? How do you enable them to do that?
Yeah, so I'm going to give a two-pronged answer to this, right? I think part of this comes down to the company and the company culture, right? And the second part is the technology infrastructure. Why I talk about culture here is, if you look at IT departments, you're going to have different functions within IT. You're going to have the infrastructure and operations function, and which is the hardware side of the house. And then you have the software side of the house, which is what takes care of the business analytics or the business applications and providing all of the business services that IT provides, right? Now, in both of these functions, you are going to have a notion of a level 1, level 2 support and level 3, level 4 support for more intricate things that need to be taken care of. Example, configuring your network, configuring your security settings and so on. So the mode which enables us to be pretty effective here in terms of call volume and handling is one, as a culture, we need to make sure that we completely remove all of the friction from an end user perspective by merging all the level 1, level 2 teams into one big team. Because at the end of the day, when as an IT organization, if the culture within the IT organization is, it doesn't matter who's raising the issue, anybody in IT should be able to pick it up and then serve the end user. That's a cultural aspect. The second is where I would say there is a technology aspect. Providing employees a way by which they can report an issue, right? Most companies have an ITSM, and you pointed about that too, right? Where most companies have a pretty solid ITSM tool. Set up the routing within that, where it now makes the tickets that are raised by employees available to all IT practitioners to go and respond. Enable other modes of communication, enables things like Slack or Google Chat or other ways by which employees can report issues.
So you may even want to shut down one channel or direct them from one channel to another. Odds are you're going to be limited in terms of how much support you can give, and you want to basically direct people to the one where you're going to give them the best support.
No, exactly. But as far as an end user is concerned, don't shut out all the doors, but try and channelize them to the one where everybody is listening in on the channel and is jumping in to take care of the issue, right? So you're leveling the field in terms of where the issues are going to come in, and then it's pretty much I use the term all hands on deck, where it doesn't matter which team you're part of within IT, just jump in and take care of the end user's issue.
So let's talk about what are your, if you had to say 3 tips for IT people looking to ensure service delivery continuity for their employees working from home. Top 3 tips.
Yeah, so I would say 1, acknowledge that there is going to be a new normal, right? If we even for a second assume that everything is going to be normal as the it's business as usual, you're going to have a missed expectation, right? Acknowledge that it's going to be a new normal. Acknowledge that there is going to be an extremely high number of tickets, and some of these could be what we call as frivolous tickets, right? Tickets which in an office environment you could just walk over to the IT desk and then ask a question, but now there is no place to walk over to. The only thing you can do is walk from one bedroom to another room, or to your living room, or to the kitchen, right? So when you're in a complete lockdown type of a mode, acknowledge that not all services would be available. Communicate these to the end users to make sure that we make it completely known to them as to what is it they can expect to be available during this time, and then set their expectation up accordingly, saying, hey, these things may not be available. We're going to do our best to address this. And last but not the least, have a good solid ITSM setup which enables you to do the appropriate routing, because the last thing you want is an employee feeling like, hey, I raised an issue and nobody really cares about my issue. And this is where it comes back to your ITSM tool to make sure that we do the appropriate routing internally and take care of that issue.
I imagine going forward, we're going to have more remote workers. We're just, you talked about, a new normal. And so I think that's a great tip, is that whatever we're doing right now to establish better services during business continuity is probably going to be something we have to carry through going forward. Well, thanks, Prasad. This is some great insights on remote working and helping your employees be more effective in remote working. And if you want more information, we'll be sharing some contact information after this, and we'll be back and talk more about some stuff soon. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Alan.
Prasad, thank you so much for your insights today. We've been having conversations around business continuity, digital transformation, and how organizations are responding to the current crisis. Please check out the other videos in the series and join us for more conversations on this topic. Thanks, Prasad.